Oh yes, my friends, it's a good old-fashioned tag video. This time I was tagged by the amazing channel Sam Not So Wise on how well read am I, according to r/fantasy. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nikhil with Shelf-Esteem. I'm a composer, now also a booktuber. You can find my music in the Wheel of Time Season 2, His Dark Materials Season 3, and the newly released The Hills of Tanchico, the featured song in the Wheel of Time Season 3, Episode 6. So, I haven't done a tag video in a while, you guys. I got a bit slammed with work, and now finally I have a bit of space to finally do one of these. And I was tagged just recently by Sam Not So Wise. Fantastic channel, lovely human being. If you haven't checked out his channel, he focuses a lot on sci-fi, but he's very widely read as well. And I love his thoughtful, thought-provoking takes on his reads, so definitely check out his channel down below. This was actually started by Nev's book channel, the must-reads according to r/fantasy for 2025, and he created a whole website where you can go and score yourself. You could see which books you've started, which ones you've finished, and you kind of skip the ones you haven't, right, started anything of, and then you end up with the top 10 must-reads according to this particular website. So really, really cool. I kind of went down and started trying to score myself. So I'm going to show you screenshots here as I go through it and kind of talk a little bit about each one I've read and then kind of go into the ones that I need to read. And I would also love to know, once you check out this video, if you have any recommendations, personal recommendations on which ones I should move higher or lower on my TBR, because I always love to keep this a dialogue, right? That's the fun of this channel anyway. So if you like this kind of video, please like and subscribe. And now on to the books. So let's start with the first entry. So here it says Middle-earth Universe by J.R.R. Tolkien. So I'm going to say something a little bit blasphemous, but I absolutely loved The Hobbit when I first read it in middle school. Then I read The Fellowship of the Ring. It felt a little bit long-winded for me. Maybe I wasn't ready for it at the time. I picked up The Two Towers and I didn't quite finish it. So I still have yet to finish The Lord of the Rings. I know that's crazy, blasphemous talk on BookTube, but maybe I need to actually finish this. But at least I have started it, so I clicked this off here. First Law World by Joe Abercrombie. I am about 5 out of the 9 books deep. I finished The Heroes, a standalone. I loved it. I've loved everything in the First Law, so I'm very much looking forward to continuing and finishing the rest of the series. Hopefully sometime this year in 2025 if I can, but at least by 2026 for sure. The third one is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. Now, I haven't finished his series, but because he hasn't finished it, I'm all caught up with the 5 books. I haven't read, I think it's Of Blood and Fire, is that the one? Or Fire and Blood? I don't know. I always get these confused. I think Of Blood and Fire is a Ryan Cahill Bound in the Broken Book. But yeah, you get the idea. So I haven't read of Fire and Blood. I have read the first 5 entries in A Song of Ice and Fire. Absolutely loved them. And it's interesting, you know, I watched the show before I came to the book, so I thought, will there be really anything to add to the story? And I gotta say, if you've watched the show but you haven't read the books, it is worth it. It is really worth it. I mean, there's a reason why people are so angry that he hasn't finished his series yet. And rightfully so, I get it, like, because it's just so good and we want the ending. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go on to the next entry in the list, The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I have read all 5 books, including Wind and Truth. I would love to know in the comments, have you all read it? Are you all caught up? But really enjoyed that one. Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. I am on BookTube, the live ship traders right now. For those of you who don't know, Realm of the Elderlings is 16 books. It's categorized into sub-series. So there's, I think, 4 trilogies and 1 quadrilogy. So I'm on the 2nd trilogy right now. So I'm going to be, I guess, on book 5 out of the 16. So I still have a ways to go, but I'm making my way through. Malazan Universe by Steven Erikson and Ian Esselmont. So this one, as you probably know, we're doing an official read-along on the channel. I'm about 3 books deep into the original big 10 very big books. So I finished Memories of Ice. I'm continuing. It's going to become one of my favorite fantasy series of all time. And I can already tell, just based on how good these 3 books are, I will be reading all the Ian Esselmont books as well, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Watch this space for that. Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. Anyone who knows me knows this kind of was my gateway to fantasy as an adult. I read them all in 2019 and 2020. Absolutely love them. Got a chance to work on the show due to my love of the books and making a musical pitch, which I'm linking down below in case you are curious to see what that was like with the live orchestra. Discworld by Terry Pratchett. I have only read one book. It was, I think, The Amazing Maurice or something like that. Probably not the best place to start, but I saw it was being adapted, so that was one of the reasons I read it. I was only okay on it, but I'm definitely going to read Guards. I think will be the next one I start, which I've heard gets unanimous praise of his 40-something entries that are in that series. So got a ways to go, but I have started it. Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I have read all of Era 1 and 2. I am eagerly anticipating Era 3. I will say I didn't like Era 2 as much as 1, but I get the feeling 3 will just be in an environment that I'm excited to kind of see. When, if you don't know, Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, there's a magic system that kind of develops over time, and technology starts to evolve, the magic starts to evolve. Pretty interesting stuff, but I have read those. The Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. So this one I've only read, Jade City. I want to read Jade War and Jade Legacy. I really liked Jade City. I just haven't had a time to fit it into my schedule, but definitely will be doing that at some point soon. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I have read the first one. I love the first half of the first one, not as much the second half, but I've heard it keeps getting better from there, and I'm excited to continue on that train. Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. I remember reading all of them, and not only that, attending the midnight releases for the last 3. I was obsessed with them in high school. Loved those books. Let's jump ahead to Dune by Frank Herbert. I read that in 2020. It was a gift from my wife, actually. She gave me a beautiful Barnes & Noble special edition, and I read through that, and I loved it. And I watched the movies, and I loved those as well. Let me know if you've watched it, and if you've read it, and how they compare for you. Skipping ahead, Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. This one feels like a cheat because I haven't even finished the first book yet, but I did like what I've been reading, and I'm looking forward to continuing on that train. Kingkiller Chronicle by Patrick Rothfuss. I gotta say, I know this is a hot take, but I read the first book, Name of the Wind, and I wasn't too impressed. I felt like the magic system was okay. The character felt like he could do no wrong in a lot of ways, and he was very much the victim in a lot of situations, and I just didn't really resonate with them. Patrick Rothfuss's writing is amazing, of course, but I didn't feel compelled to continue. Maybe I will. Let me know if you think Wise Man's Fear is worth reading. Jumping ahead here, The Locked Tomb by Tamsin Muir. So I did read a little bit of Gideon the Ninth. I realized it probably isn't for me, and I put it down. Is that a DNF? I don't know. It's a soft DNF. Maybe keep it for later. Let's go to The Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. I read the first book, All Systems Red. Not too keen on it. I might try the second one, but I wasn't too keen on the first one. Jumping ahead, The Broken Earth by N.K. Jemisin. I read part of the first one, soft DNF'd it, but I do look forward to actually going back to it. Sun Eater by Christopher Rocchio. I've read almost everything, except for the short story collections. I've read everything in that universe, and I absolutely love it. It is in my top 3 favorite sci-fi series of all time, and I think Christopher Rocchio is one of the greatest living writers currently in sci-fi. I would say The Expanse by James S.A. Corey. I am on book 5, Nemesis Games, right now. Actually, literally right now, because I checked this out from the library. I'm about halfway through, loving it. If you like sci-fi space opera and you want something that feels like a heist sci-fi that opens up into a wider world, highly recommend you check out James S.A. Corey's The Expanse series. This is very dilapidated, by the way. I don't know if this is really helpful to show in the on the camera, but check out the covers because it is actually really beautiful on the inside and out. The Austin Ard Saga by Tad Williams. So I started that in June, actually. I'm on a big read-along hosted by Booked and Busy Erin from that channel. If you are not familiar, I'm linking her down below as well. And I've read The Dragonbone Chair. One of the great fantasy reads I've read in recent memory. I fell in love with it from page 1. Truly wonderful. The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. I am 7 books out of 16 or 17 in now, so I still got a ways to go, but really enjoying it. I feel like it's quite consistent. I even like the first couple entries, which a lot of people don't. So that is the ones that I've read so far. Let's look at the top 10 that I haven't read according to r/fantasy. So scrolling back up, Gentleman Bastard by Scott Lynch. I have not read these, and I've heard of The Lies of Locke Lamora Everybody has been mentioning it. I remember hearing about it when it first came out, I think in 2006 or something like that. And I've been curious. I even have a copy sitting on my shelf, so I definitely have to check that out. I know this series has taken a while to get the next fourth entry, I think is the one that the people are waiting for a long time. So it'll be a while before I get to it because I kind of want to see if I could read them back to back. But let's see. I mean, if you think I should move it forward on my TBR, definitely let me know. I'd love to have your advice on that. Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Funny enough, I just saw today on IMDb Pro, because I always love scouring to see what adaptations are in the mix. There is a Piranesi adaptation in the works, so of course I got to read it. And it's very small, so I'm definitely going to read it pretty soon. Earthsea Cycle by Ursula K. Le Guin. So I've heard about this one since 2020. I think I saw a video on Daniel Green's channel or something. Might have been Mike's Book Reviews, but really, really awesome stuff. I want to read this series. I think it's 6 books, and there's a whole omnibus that has all entries in one, so probably read that at some point. The next one is Cradle by Will White. So I don't know how I feel about this because I've heard it is very much like the lit RPG subgenre, which doesn't quite grab me. I don't know, like the idea of, getting loot in a kind of gamifying fantasy is not really my cup of tea, I didn't mind it in Matt Denneman's Dungeon Crawler Carl, actually, but I've heard that this is a bit more out there when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I don't know if that I'm keen to read this, but I would love to know. I mean, anyone who's watched this channel who knows my reading taste, I would love to know if you think I would enjoy it. I'll definitely pick it up based on your recommendation if you feel so. Then the next one is The Wandering Inn by Pirate Abba. This series is so long. If you look at, I think there's a Daniel Green video, I'll link it down below, where you could see how long it currently is, and it's still going. And it's like bigger than The Wheel of Time, Malazan Book of the Fallen, First Law, Lord of the Rings, all these books combined. It's the longest running fantasy series of all time by a huge, huge margin. So really interesting stuff. I've heard it's got slice of life. I heard it's got a little bit of our lit RPG, but I'm very intrigued. I feel like I have to read the first couple entries. That is no small feat because I heard these books are like 1,600, 1,700 pages because they started off as like web novels and then now have been compiled into proper standalone novels that you can, get on Kindle or something. Or I don't know if they have an audiobook, actually. Should find out. But that is one that I definitely want to check out. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. Now, depending on how Piranesi goes, I might read this. I actually have it on my shelf. I got it on hardcover in a dollar sale at the library, which nice little cheat code for getting good books for cheap. Definitely check out your local library book sales because that's a great place to not break the bank and still get the books you love. Then the next one is Hierarchy by James Islington. So I believe there's The Will of the Many and The Strength of the Few. I don't know if that one has come out yet, but I want to read The Will of the Many. I've heard great things about it. Have you read it? Would you recommend it? And also I would love to know, the Licinius trilogy, I think, is also another one that James Islington has done. Would you recommend that over The Will of the Many? I would love to know your thoughts, This is very helpful for me. And as I start to kind of keep figuring out what to talk about next on the channel, it's very great to get your input as well. So I deeply appreciate it. Then there is The Sarantine Universe by Guy Gavriel Kay. So I've only read The Lions of Alrasan so far, and I immediately said, I need to read more Guy Gavriel Kay. And that was a Josh from Red Fury Books recommendation. I know he's been really into GGK lately, and he's been reading a bunch of his stuff. I think he's read The Sarantine universe, so I definitely want to check that out. I think Joanna from Joanna Reads has also mentioned highly this duology, is it, or something? But definitely going to check that one out very soon. The Hainish Cycle by Ursula K. Le Guin. I don't know anything about this one. Would you all recommend I do Earthsea before this? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know. And then last but not least, The Broken Empire Universe by Mark Lawrence. So I feel a little trepidation on this one. I kind of want to read his library trilogy first instead of The Broken Empire, and I'll tell you why. I've heard The Broken Empire is very grimdark, but almost in a nihilistic sense. There's supposed to be some sort of a redemption, a light at the end of the tunnel in some sense, from what I understand, but it's very dark, and it's very it's very grimdark, and I don't know if I want to necessarily dive into a trilogy of that nature just yet, but I would love to know your thoughts on that as well. So that is my top 10 according to r/fantasy that I have to read. What do you think of this list? Let me know. And do you have a top 10 based on this website? Let me know as well. And just kind of as an addendum to this video, because I saw Sam Not So Wise do this, so I kind of want to go through a few more of these and just check out what else I might be missing on this list. And would love to know your thoughts on these as well. So Chronicles of Ozreth by Catherine Addison. I've never heard of it. Definitely want to find out more, though. The Second Apocalypse by R. Scott Baker. I feel like everyone on BookTube is reading and reviewing these books, and I'm getting some FOMO, to be honest. So I definitely want to check those out. Cosmere by Brandon Sanderson. Read almost all of Cosmere so far. I think I just have the Secret Projects left, and Arcanum Unbounded. I think those are the only ones. And Isles of the Emberdark, which is, I think, coming out in July. I'm going to read that Cosmere book. His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. I read the first one, and I really enjoyed it. I got to work on the show, which was amazing. I think I should go back and read the other two. The Witcher by Andrzej Sapkowski. So I read the first one. I really enjoyed it. I haven't read any further, and I've just kind of put it off. I don't know. I really liked the first one, but it didn't necessarily, blow my hair back where I feel like, I have to know what happens in the next entry. So it's also kind of more like a series of vignettes or short stories intertwined together in a novel. That first one, I think even the second one is like that. So let me know what you think about that. But The Chronicles of the Black Company by Glenn Cook. I have a couple of his books actually on my shelf, so definitely want to get to that. I've heard he's like the godfather of Grimdark in a lot of ways. So want to see, going right to the source, what that was like. Solar Cycle by Gene Wolfe. This must be the Book of the New Sun. Don't know much about it, but I've heard great things. Definitely want to check it out. The Dark Tower by Stephen King. In the top 3 fantasy series of all time for me. I should make another top 10 list, by the way. I don't know if I should, I have done that in a while, but Dark Tower by Stephen King, if you have not read it, it is the craziest genre mashup. It is fantasy, it's sci-fi, it's horror, it's historical fiction, it's Arthurian in its scope. It even has references to our world. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Definitely check it out. This Scholomance by Naomi Novik. Haven't read any Naomi Novik. Hyperion Cantos by Dan Simmons. I want to read Hyperion. I haven't read any of his books yet, so I definitely have to read that. Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I loved this book. I think it has a friendship story for the ages. It's so interesting. A guy wakes up with like amnesia on a spaceship alone, and he has to piece together his life. Fantastic stuff. The Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu. I have 3 out of the 4 books sitting on my shelf. I will be getting The Grace of Kings sometime later this year. The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang. Haven't read it, but I heard it was a Spiff Box winner, I think. I want to check it out at some point. World of the Five Gods by Bujold. I have not heard of this, actually. Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. I've heard great things about this book. Wayfarers by Becky Chambers. Now, I've been hearing about Becky Chambers a ton on our Discord channel, which you feel free to join if you'd like to. Don't know much about her, but everybody seems to be raving about her works. The Rhaeria Revelations by Michael J. Sullivan. I have the Theft of Swords sitting on my shelf. Gotta get to it. One Piece. Okay, so I watched season 1 of the show, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm like, I should really pick this up, but I haven't read any of it yet. So let me know if you'd want to see some manga on this channel. Haven't explored that, but I'm definitely down to if enough of you are interested on my takes on that. The Banished Lands by John Gwynne. Freaking love this series. 7 books, a quadrilogy, and then a sequel trilogy. Highly, highly recommend if you like kind of classic fantasy with a little bit of a grimdark aspect to it and great characters, and also reads fast like a thriller novel. Great stuff. Vorkosigan's Saga by Bujold. Again, I haven't read any Bujold. I gotta read that. Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wang. We have a copy on our shelf. You notice the trend here, by the way? I have a lot of copies on my shelf and stuff that I need to read. Speaking of a lot of copies on my shelf, I have the first 2 Enders books by Orson Scott Card. Gotta read those. Kushiel's Universe by Jacqueline Carey. Gotta read it at some point. Masquerade by Seth Dickinson. Haven't read any. Shadow of the Leviathan. Robert Jackson Bennett, haven't read any. I'm gonna do a few more because this list goes on for quite a while and I don't want to make this video like an hour long. But Tiexicalan by Arcady Martin, never heard of it. This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El Mokhtar and Max Gladstone. Haven't read it, but I've heard of it. Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. So I started the first book, Children of Time, and I have not finished it yet, but I did like it. I just wasn't in the sci-fi mood, but I really enjoyed kind of like the biological aspects of things, little high concept sci-fi, really interesting stuff. Neuroboson by China Mieville. I've heard of this author, but I have not read any. Tortall by Tamara Pierce, never heard of it. Remembrance of Earth's Past by Cixin Liu, absolutely one of my favorites. Highly recommend if you like high concept sci-fi and a first contact story that is unique to anything in the genre. So this is my list. I'm going to stop right there because, again, as I mentioned, there's a lot on this list. And I'll probably peruse more of this at some point. And I would love to know any of these that you've heard of, any that you'd recommend I move higher or lower on my TBR, whether it be in my top 10 version according to r/fantasy or any of these other wider works. I'm leaving the r/fantasy link down below. I'm leaving Nev's book channel's website and also his wonderful channel as well. And I just want to thank Sam Not So Wise. Yeah, I want to thank Sam so much for, tagging me in this video. And I am tagging a few booktubers down below as well. Lovely channels who I really admire and would love to hear their thoughts as well. Never any pressure. I know how it is with tag videos. Sometimes it's hard to stay on top of it. I'm speaking from personal experience, of course, but let me know what you thought about all this in the comments, in the Discord. I'm Nick Hill with Shelf-Esteem. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of video. It always teaches the algorithm what videos are worth watching. And thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other. I will see you, as always, on the next video. Take care.